I love hearing about absolute success stories where it's not out of the realm of where, people can't relate to like Steve Jobs or even Damon Johns, Mark Cuban, and Barbara Corcoran. Now I'm here with Steve and Adam Grice, and of course, as you see from the background, Lang Trailers, specialty trailers. So introduce yourself, guys, really quick, and introduce Lang Trailers. What do you do?
Yeah, Damon, thanks for having us today. I'm Steve, and this is Adam Greist. We are the owners of Lang Specialty Trailers. We build restroom trailers, shower trailers, laundry trailers for all kinds of different applications, from special events to disaster relief and everything in between.
And by the way, when I talk about these trailers, we are talking about, I've seen probably a lot of their products as well, but over the last couple of years, when we go to something like literally the Oscars and the Vanity Fair party, the highest level of events that you can go to, they have them in big, not parking lots, but big places that they convert.
Mhm.
But I found something fascinating about this business that there's a lot of revenue to be made as a person who services a lot of the people who need this. But I want to tell you about the story, and I found that these guys, it's just like Fubu. They came from a real place where they felt that there was a real need, a real desire. They did it because they felt that they were solving a problem. And then all of a sudden they said, not only are we going to solve the problem for us, we're going to solve it for other people. And other people are going to be able to actually become entrepreneurs off of this. So you don't have to worry about creating something like a FUBU. You can actually do something every single day and be in the money. What is your history of starting business and how did you even come up with the idea? Were you in this business already? Were you not? What happened?
Yeah, a little
Yeah.
backstory on that. I mean, we started, our family had a rental company. We did everything: tents, tables, chairs. You rented all that equipment for weddings, special events, corporate events, things along those lines. And somewhere around 2007, we actually saw our first restroom trailer, and right away knew it was something we wanted to add to our inventory, and we did. And Adam kind of get into, what that event that kind of triggered that aha moment that we wanted to add these to what we were doing.
Yeah, at the first time we saw a restroom trailer, I had no idea that that even existed. At the time, we were doing extremely high-end events, weddings, corporate events, and the only bathroom solution was the awful plastic portable solution. At the time, that was the best you had to offer. And
Right.
the first time we saw one, it was just mind-blowing. Like, oh my God, this is out there. It was a horrible time, actually. We were out setting up tents like we always do. We're sweating, pounding stakes into the ground, and this old guy pulled in an F-150 pickup truck, little pickup truck hauling this restroom trailer. And we got a whole crew of guys, trucks, guys that were sweating, and this little old man just pulled in, didn't even get out of his air-conditioned truck, yelled from the window and asked if the bride wanted it over here. She gave him a thumbs up. He got out, disconnected. He was there for maybe 30 minutes, waved and said, "See you Monday." And we found out that that guy charged as much for that restroom trailer as we did for this entire setup. And we were all just looking at each other like, what just happened here? And we knew
Wow,
immediately
that
that
was
we
the
had to
time
get into these.
that was when you realized you were working hard and there was a lot of other people. Well, there was the one guy that was working
Yeah.
smart.
Yep.
Right. Yeah, and it kind of started from there. Immediately we went and did some research, figured out where we can get one of these things, got a restroom trailer and got started. But the initial idea was this was going to support our rental business. We already were driving to these sites. We already had the guys going to the sites. I already had to drive a truck to the site, so why not take this trailer with us and charge an extra $2,000 to drop this trailer off? And we really grew things from there. We added some more trailers, but stayed very focused on renting to weddings and other special events. And then kind of eventually we got to the next big aha moment that was like, oh wow, there's a lot more to this than what we're doing. And that's kind of when we found long-term rental, when we
Yeah.
landed a contract with Chevron to work on their gas fracking sites here in Western Pennsylvania.
Wow. So let me ask you something. Are you still doing the tents and everything?
No, we were doing the tents for a long time, growing the restroom side, but it became clear to us after, especially after the Chevron account, that there was a lot more potential in the restroom side. And around 2018, while we had already begun manufacturing trailers, one of our competitors in the rental side came and made an offer to buy our whole rental company that we just could not pass up. So we ended up selling off the entire rental company and focusing solely on the manufacturing of the restroom and specialty trailers.
Are you a CEO that knows that you've done everything to master your craft? Now you need to take your personal brand to the next level? Well, I love working one-on-one with game-changing CEOs. And if you're interested, reach out. Go to workwithashark.com and fill out the form. Now, back to the video. Listen, I say it all the time. I say that life presents itself so many times when there's what I call the jackass moment. And here's and business always has, and it has all the time, the jackass moment. Um, there's an old saying that a farmer back in the days when if he or she was plowing the land with a jackass. And then somebody next to him invested a bunch of money in this really weird thing called a tractor. And I'm sure you've heard this, but what the hell is wrong with this? How much did you pay for that that big old thing? And he just kept plowing with the jackass. And the idea and the concept is because he or she did not want to change or catch that opportunity that was right there, now there's two jackasses. And at any given moment, you could have said, now think about this. You got a whole bunch of guys working and they're sweating, and now you have labor, right? A bunch of people coming, working, they're tired, they're sick, they're not asking for raises, fighting with their husband and wife, whatever the case is. And a guy pulls up, leaves, like you said it, stayed in his truck for a while, and you could have been like, wow, man, that's cool.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's go back to work.
Right.
Like you decided to not be the jackass. So you got rid of that other business and you got out of the jackass and you found the fact that you weren't going to be the jackass. And now you started to expand the business because now you still have people working for you because you're actually now building the trail.
Yes. It's a little very different than doing the rental side. But the rental side of the trailers had our company not been a full-scale event rental company that offered all the services, I probably would have never entertained getting rid of the rental side of the trailers. It was just too easy.
What did you go through, though, to now do that? Because you had this starve and suck wind for a long time because everybody here knows investing in a business and growing a business of inventory and mistakes and learning things. It had to eat you for a while.
Yeah, it sure did.
Yep.
And I mean, we had the benefit of being able to, while we still had the rental company, we started manufacturing. I mentioned that Chevron contract. When we got it, it was we needed, I think, 12 trailers maybe, and we didn't own that many trailers. And of course, we said when they called and said, "Can you do this?" The answer is, yeah, we can do that. Absolutely. Yeah. We could be there tomorrow, and then we turned around and started scrambling to try to find what we needed and to find out that we couldn't buy enough trailers. Now, all the manufacturers that existed at the time were backed up to the point we got some through those manufacturers, but it forced us then into saying, you know what, we're going to have to we need to build a couple trailers to do this, to fulfill this contract.
So that's kind of how having the rental side really helped us create the best possible product. Had we not had that knowledge, it would have been super tough to build the products we do today.
How did Chevron find you? That's a great contract.
It was
what was the I don't need to know the term the trailer itself, but what was like the amount of trailers and the amount of time?
So it was pretty interesting, and it actually worked out great. We got on that site at first when they'd be doing these big sites, they would have all the dignitaries come in and the stockholders would come in and they had us putting up tents and things. And the first time we put up a restroom, it was not meant for the gas workers. It was for the dignitaries coming in. But as soon as the gas workers and the safety crew and everything saw this thing, they said, holy moly, we didn't know that was an option. We want that for our guys too.
Something like that is a 2-year, 3-year contract, 1 year. How many trailers? I'm just curious.
So that contract was really nice. They had 6 different sites that were going at any given time in Western Pennsylvania, and each site required 2 trailers along with some of our other equipment, and they lasted 3 to 6 months. You know, other contracts we had one with Toyota. They were remodeling all their showrooms in the tri-state area, and we were contracted with the construction company that was doing the work, and our trailer sat for basically 3 months at each Toyota dealership while they remodeled. And it wasn't there for the workers, it was there for the salespeople and the customers.
Man, I love this, because I talked to you before and I was thinking so small. I was thinking like maybe like Robert Herjavec. I was thinking I spoke to you the last time. But again, you got a great family and they're going to a carnival. I'm thinking, oh, charge you $100 for a family to be able to use it. And then I'm thinking so small, maybe 25 families over the week. But you're saying, no, 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 no. Man, like people remodeling
Oh
dealerships,
yeah.
people doing this, people doing that. This is such a challenge to me that I said I want to actually become a customer of yours. I already have one. I want to actually test this model. I like to say Gary Vee goes to what are they called? Garage sales or whatever and looks for sports cars. I like this concept, right? A two-bay trailer is about how much?
Just under $30,000.
Just under $30,000, two-bay trailer. So okay, easy finance or do whatever the case is. And you're saying, because I remember, I think my two-bay trailer for my team was like $2,000 or 2,500 for the weekend.
Yep.
All right. So if I'm somebody, I got a two-bay trailer, I buy it and I finance it. Well, it's probably $500 a month, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah.
You're saying that I can go and whether it is weddings, whether it is all this type of stuff, I can lease it out for on a low end. What do you think it is a weekend?
On a two
1,500?
station, a low end would the national average would be anywhere from 1,300 to 1,800 for a two station.
$1,500, and then I get somebody to, I would take my truck, I would go and
Yep.
drop it off. I would service it or get somebody else to service it. So let's say you pay somebody $100 a day,
I mean,
$200.
typically it's going to be one service. Usually for a weekend type rental, it's only one service. Be anywhere between 150 to $200.
Wow, and then I can make if I just have 2 weekends I'm averaging out 15. That's $3,000.
Mhm.
2 weekends. Of course, I'm making my child do it because all they're on is Roblox and sniffing glue in the parking lot of 7-Eleven. So go work.
There's two models that we see people go through. Very commonly is the weekend type rental, weddings, company picnics, graduations, corporate events. That is a easy, organic way to get started. Those events are prevalent. They happen every day. The second you get your online presence, you can start working. You don't need a lot of previous credentials.
And they're very profitable as well. It's
Yeah.
a great way to start generating some good cash and very consistent work, for sure.
So you are saying there's some people that I think we were talking before. You said there's some people making, $10,000 a weekend cash flow.
Oh, yeah.
A
A lot more
yeah.
than that on some of
Yeah,
them.
a lot.
That would be for the smaller side hustle guys. We've got guys that have started with one and two and have 150, 160 units in 5-6 years.
The people that we see that don't succeed, and when I say don't succeed, they usually still are successful to a certain level, just not to what they were hoping for. But usually it comes down to marketing.
Absolutely.
If you don't do your marketing right, people can't find you. It's a much slower growth. Like I can think to the one guy that we had that was unhappy how it went for
The
him.
yard sign guy.
And when he starts saying, I only rented it 12 times this year. I said, well, okay, well, tell me about your marketing this. He's like, well, I have it in my yard, and I put one of those little yard signs that says for rent behind it, with my phone number on it. It's like, well, that's probably not the best way to go about doing this. He didn't have a website. He didn't use social media. He did nothing. But even if that, he was still able to be profitable just putting a yard sign up, but nowhere near the level that we see most of our customers get to.
The time when Fubu started to decline, it was when I forgot about the value of the relationship. I forgot about it. and I have the beauty of doing that today on Shark Tank, where it is all about the relationship and nurturing these entrepreneurs. Some of them I won't ever make money off of, and they've become some of the closest friends of my life. I haven't made money off the actual business that we did, but I made money off of other stuff that we've done together. But some I'll never make money off of. But one of the downfalls of Fubu is when we got so big that I forgot about the relationship of what you just said. So here's what I'm gonna do myself. I'm going to take on this journey because I'm going to get a couple of line trails, and I want people to public. I like to say, I like to build in public, watch people witness me because I do so many things, and it's funny about all the people like us. I allow people to witness, and I say this all the time. I'll allow you to witness all of my mistakes, but only few will notice the successes within failures and those mistakes. So now you also do more things. If somebody wants to even think about further things you do, which is like I think now I'm a prepper. A
Hmm.
lot of people, because I believe we're always going to be disrupted. I believe that, a couple of years ago we had to worry about three nations that may create a nuclear war, and if that happens today, we're all done anyway. But I believe that that's not where the real fear is. I believe the real threat is to us. I believe that we will all be interrupted at least 2 to 3 weeks every single other year the rest of our lives because we got 20 million people that are trying to hack our power
Hmm.
grids, hack hospitals, water systems. Let's just talk about this year alone. Melvin, longshoremen strike. AT&T got hacked.
Hmm.
I don't know, no problem. What's going to happen is for 2 weeks or a week out of that time, either you or loved ones or people like that, you're going to say, "Are you okay?" And just go to make sure all the stuff you've prepared and you have is good, so you're not running getting toilet paper and all that. I think there's a lot of stuff in this market going to happen, but you do make things for when unfortunate
Oh,
events
absolutely.
happen, right? What are the
Yes.
what are the trailers you make there for that?
Initially, almost the first thing that always happens is linemen. All the powers, the grids, the water lines. So
Hey,
they fly in thousands of workers that go direct to this devastated area. There's no hotels, there's no power, there's no water. So immediately, a temporary man camp must be set up with thousands of beds, showers, laundries, basically a makeshift city overnight running on generators. So that's an initial response that you'll see a lot of our shower trailers, laundry trailers, and bunk trailers going to. But then immediately following, I mean, that goes for months. But there is just an endless amount of need from individuals, churches, businesses, and the amount of businesses that are still trying to reopen. Grocery stores, they have no sewage, they have no bathrooms, but they can get their stores cleaned out and at least get food on the shelves. But they'll need bathrooms, trailers, and facilities for their employees for years to come. That's where Steven mentioned earlier. A lot of times these trailers will be rented for years, sitting there just facilitating while the entire city is rebuilt. It takes many, many years to get all the grid back up and running. And it's an abundant opportunity, and it's also enjoyable to assist helping.
Like what was it, Ian? When Ian came through
Yeah.
that the Fort Myers area, there was laundry and shower trailers there for over 2 years. Working at camps and things like that.
Well, I tell you guys, I learned so much from you. I do these things, and you couldn't sit 16 years in a show like I have. A lot of those are hour long. You can't sit there if you are not a student of life and you find these things fascinating. I hope people could see that I'm always on this quest. And I think that some of the things, when you talk to brilliant entrepreneurs, you either learn two things. You learn a new way of doing something that currently existed, or you learn that you're on the right track because all the other people taking shortcuts or telling you other things. When you find the people that are successfully doing, you go, I don't regret what I either been through or what I'm going through now. And even as I look at this, man, because some of the biggest mistakes that I have made is when I had the most. It wasn't when I didn't have anything. It's when my ego was in the way. I'm Damon John. Are you kidding me? Wait, I'm Damon John. I'm Damon John. Or shut up. Throw money at it. Throw money at it. Right? And when you talk to guys like you and of course women who are in the same position, you learn, yeah, all those things that happened to me in the beginning of my career led me to this. You learn, don't ever forget about that customer.
Yep.
And if the customer is annoying and you aren't fascinated or happy about that annoyance, then you're in the wrong business, because when a customer tells you something that is annoying them and is coming to you, you're like, man, I can't wait to solve it. That person doesn't
Hmm.
get it, or I'm not doing enough, right? When that thing is irritating you so much where you don't want to talk to them anymore, well then it's time to move on, to be very honest, because that's going to come across the other way. About the fascination of the different applications you find, because once you get into a business, you think it's going to do one thing here when it starts to
Oh
move and
yeah,
it
yeah.
starts to solve other problems. And it's just fun, man, to see these people that you're working with, and so much that, listen, I get. By the way, the last thing I should ever do in my life is try to work or start a new business, because trust me, I get about 8 of them a year. But I'm fascinated about this, and I love the blue collar, everyday, salt of the earth people can do this business all the way up to guys like me who are like, hey, I want to educate myself in this space and become part of it. So I really appreciate what you guys are doing, and thank you so much, man. Any last words for people out there? Oh shoot, where can you even find you? I'm I advertise and market you
Okay, I
guys.
got
Where
it.
can we find you?
I mean, you could give us a call if you're interested in learning about restroom trailers. Visit our website or hit any of our socials. We got a lot of great videos and things on YouTube out there to, about the business.
And what's the website? Is it Lang Specialty Trailers, or
Uh,
just Lang?
Lang Restroom Trailers.
And restroom trailers. All right, man. Man, I love it. I think we took a great journey for all the everyday entrepreneurs as well as the titans of industry. It just, kind of goes back to the fundamentals of business. So thank you so much, Steve and Adam, for joining me, man, and all our listeners for tuning in. Now, if you enjoyed this podcast, be sure to share with anyone who might be interested in exploring a new entrepreneurial journey or opportunities, or even sophisticated ones who are like, why aren't we doing that? That fits into our portfolio. That adds into what we're doing. So there you have it. Thank you, and make sure everybody subscribes and checks out my guys over at Lang Trailers. They're empowering people and solving problems. If you're a CEO like I was, where I mastered my craft, but I know that I needed to master my personal brand, well, then you've come to the right guy. I love working with CEOs that are already game changers and just need to take it to the next level, but nobody out there has experienced what they have experienced, and nobody out there can take them to where they want to go. Well, I can. And if you want to find out more about it, reach out. Go to workwithashark.com. And thanks for watching. And make sure you subscribe. Peace.